Which are some of the disadvantages of having a smoking hot girlfriend? Can it work the other way? I had a smoking hot boyfriend. Other people hit on him all the time. It didn't bother me cause like, if he's gonna cheat that's on him not the people into him. I never figured I had to worry, and I didn't, about that happening. So it didn't actually matter. It was just a part of it. You gotta know they're gonna be hit on all the time. I get what you mean. But it's still a worry to me. My GF has a best male friend she's known for about 5 years. But never met. In the 1.5 years we've been together. Has said he loves her. We've still never met. And said inappropriate things like that we should share her. We were once in his neighborhood. And he asked if she was with her family. She said she was with me. So he didn't want to meet her. I trust her. But I don't trust others not to try and make her cheat. If she was on a night out, I wouldn't trust him being near her, trying to get her drunk and kiss her, etc. That's my issue. Other people trying to manipulate the relationship to get what they want. Luckily I found an honest amazing girl, and she would never do anything to hurt me. From personal experience, if she ever feels a want/need to cheat, there are opportunities literally around every corner. She doesn't even need to try. She's gonna be given the chance, whether she asked for it or not, and all she has to do is say yes one time for it to go downhill for you. Hell, even if she doesn't/won't cheat on you, you gotta deal with the sheer amount of men who are chomping at the bit to try to get a piece regardless of if she's taken or who she's dating. I've learned of a couple friends of mine who tried to get with my GF. One of whom was my barracks roommate and coworker/somewhat mentor who knew the kind of bullpoop she was capable of and how much we were struggling in our relationship, and whom I had leaned on for emotional support and relationship advice. I never got the chance to say it to your face. But duck you, Nate. Another one is, no matter how good or bad of a person she is, you'll always be seen as lucky to have her by someone. She could be the Escomi off the earth. But some people don't think about that or straight up don't care as long as she's gorgeous. And heaven help you if she's outwardly nice to others. Because that makes it more likely she'll be the one people side with if ever a situation becomes a he said/she said. It all depends on her personality. If she has a messed up attitude, her being smoking hot will eventually get old. I have a smoking hot boyfriend. A lot of girls hitting on him. I'm being threatened. They DM me on Insta that they would kill me or ruin my ducking life because I'm stealing him. I really feel like I'm worthless when I see them and how much they want him. I feel like I'm not enough. I'm really put down by what they say. Had a super hot boyfriend for a while. It was horrible walking through the city with him. I was used to get at least some looks before, but everyone was just staring at him, and I felt as if they wonder how we got together, or that I've been lucky. My friends and my mom stated how hot he was several times in ways that compared me to him. He was a refugee in my country and a family took him in. The mother fell in love with him. She was like 30 years older than him and treated me like shit out of jealousy. It also almost destroyed her family. He was very depressed and had many issues/trauma. I still feel bad for him because many people would mistake him for a pretty superficial person. Also, he would attribute it solely to his looks that people cared about or were interested in him. He was therefore super nervous about his hair/clothing/to look good. E.g., he took an incredible amount of time to care for his hair, which kinda impacted his schedule. The fact that it doesn't necessarily mean she'll have high self-esteem. I think the love of my life is the most beautiful person in the world, but she of course doesn't feel the same. Breaks my heart to hear her insult herself with her own lies. Every guy has low-key less respect for you. Some guys are bloody bold in their flat-out ignorance/arrogance. I was on tour with a TV crew several years ago and, as fortune would have it, met a model friend of the producer while out on the west coast for a month. Now, while our month together was bloody awesome, we both understood that it was temporary and wasn't going to last. Knowing that, I had a much easier time dealing with guys who would hit on her while thinking they were somehow being sneaky about it. Sometimes when I'm literally sitting 3 feet away at the same table, all the while pretending to be nice to me, even though we'd normally never speak. virtually everywhere we went. If this was an actual relationship and I was dealing with that literally whenever we left the house, it would drive me insane. It's not even the hitting on her, I understand that. She's gorgeous. But the bold duck you levels of disregard right to your face. Holy shit. SMH, all these people acting like cheating boils down to people hitting on their so. I married my smoking hot girlfriend who I met in college. And a few years after we met she went on to be a cheerleader for a local professional sports team in town. I never once was worried about other people hitting on her. She knew how to handle it. If someone wants to cheat, they'll cheat. Has nothing to do with people hitting on them, nor does it have to do with you or your value. Smoking hot people also get cheated on. The downside was how people treated her in social and work environments. They basically treated her like a piece of meat that couldn't make simple decisions. Jokes on them. She now runs a very successful small business that employs over 30 people. They really missed out on how smart she is, especially her old employer. The constant realization you'll never be enough for her. Your brain telling you 24/7 to just end the relationship. Because you aren't anywhere near her level and it'd be better for both of you if you left. She could find someone good for her and you could stop having delusions that anyone could ever love you. Might be a bit specific to me though. I went out on a date with a very attractive tall girl once, and when we got to the bar I had a couple guys come up to me that I hadn't talked to in years. We didn't get along. Try to be my friend all of a sudden. Like they wanted to get to know her or some shit. I just told them to go away and they did. But it was still annoying. Having to find out some of your friends are at ducks just waiting for any moment to take what you have. It's pretty sad how many dudes you are only really friends with cause the situation hadn't yet come up yet where they are willing to be complete scumbags to you for something they want. A lot of people are only decent due to lack of opportunity. Might like someone until you get a chance to see a DM they thought you wouldn't get shown. Guys will wait around 4 years to get with her. Men will even catcall her if you are out with her. Some guys will flirt her up even if you are present. People hitting on her especially at the gym even when I'm there. Don't get me wrong, I'm not jealous or worried she might cheat. She hates it but has a soft heart so she doesn't know how to tell him off. Also I'm not boyfriend anyway so she finds it amusing when I'm telling off on a guy clearly 3 times my size. Parties are the same. I've had guys grab her butt when I have my arm around her and asking us to share. This is going to sound judgmental, but it's just a case of circumstances. When you're a smoking hot girl everybody in your life always chuckles a bit whenever you try to be cute or make a joke. Almost everybody always smiles at you. So there's a real good chance she thinks she's kinda funny when she really never is. There's also a good chance her default outwardly presented personality is guarded and lacking warmth, since every mook she's ever smiled at has tried to hit on her. If she's truly a 10+ then doors have likely always magically been opened for her as well. She probably doesn't realize this or just can't admit it. So her perspective on effort and achievement is skewed. Go for an 8. Much better chance of finding a healthy well-developed soul that way. Disclaimers: I hate the juvenile 1 to 10 rating system, but it's just such easily understandable shorthand. Probably, likely, there's a good chance, etc. mean there are lots of exceptions and we should all steer clear of prejudice against any one person. We are speaking in generalities here in order to answer the question as asked. Most of them are 2D images. If they are not 2D images, you have to deal with guys hitting on them. They might also come with a myriad of sexual or even mental issues because of past treatment from other men. Other than that, they obviously like you for some reason. Don't be an idiot and screw it up. Where there's smoke there's fire. Hot girls usually know they're hot. I have seen more of an entitlement mentality out of hot chicks and daddy's little princess types than girls who are just good looking or moderately attractive. My cousin is smoking hot and just came out of a divorce. I think a disadvantage for most guys is realizing that smoking hot women are actual people. She got married to a guy who obviously intended for her to be a trophy wife. When he found out hey she has feelings and has some old family baggage, they divorced around the 2-year mark of their marriage. 5 years of being together. Smoking hot women are humans and aren't an accessory. They have to deal with guys pursuing them only for their looks and not actually caring about themselves as a person. I had a super hot girlfriend once. Well, for over a year. Never again. 1. She was a party balloon. Pretty to look at. Like a party balloon. And talking to her and a party balloon had the same results. Honestly, it got to the point that if we weren't mocking someone else she had almost nothing to say. 2. She was dumb, but thought she was the smart one. I honestly think this was how she got through life. People thinking that if they catered to her ego they'd get between her legs. This might have been one reason why she was with me. I didn't pretend that she was more intelligent than me and called her out on her stupidity. 3. Sex was meh at most. Women who aren't smoking hot have to try to get a man. Women who are smoking hot know why they have a man and know that they can get a new man in like 5 minutes. 2 minutes if they actually announce that they are single. So they put in like zero effort in bed. No lingerie, no getting oral, no porn. She was the only thing that was to turn me on. And if she wasn't enough she was offended. 4. Crazy. I mean, she pulled the fake pregnancy thing on me twice. And I don't mean she lied and then confessed. No. She kept it going until I finally asked how she could be 5 months pregnant and still not showing. So then she faked a miscarriage. I really don't know much about how women's plumbing work. And this was 20 years ago. Shit. That was 20 years ago. And then she faked another pregnancy after that. At least then I was smart enough to call bull poop on it. That was in addition to the other lies, the fights, gaslighting, and more. One Christmas we woke up early, had sex, and then she cried because she had sex on Jesus' birthday and that made her a whore. 5. Everything she valued about herself was her looks. She had to wear name brand fashion. She had to have top of the line makeup. She had to be within a certain weight range. If she thought she was fat she flipped out. 6. She had no imagination. I was clearly the first nerd that she had been with. One night we were watching Dragon Ball Z and she kept asking how is this poo possible? One night we were watching an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And again, more questions about how the duck can you watch this? Question mark. How are transporters possible? Thankfully, she opened up and enjoyed the Indiana Jones movies. Her books were mostly biographies. 7. She wasn't much fun to be around. At the time I was 20-22. I played video games. I had a Gamma Boy Color and an N64. She hated it. To her, only children played video games. The fact that I was playing Pokemon Yellow, it had just come out, further offended her. 8. She was in love with her father. I don't mean the familiar love between father and daughter. No, I mean romantic. Her favorite roleplay was she pretended to be her stepmother while I pretended to be her dad. It took me a while to figure out that she was actually trying to turn me into her dad. And that roleplay, her stepmom was not an attractive woman. So I had a hot early 20s girlfriend who wanted to pretend to be an ugly butlet 50-something grandmother while I pretended to be her father. I could only play along on the one condition that neither of us said a damn thing. Well, as a girl myself it probably wouldn't feel good to date someone more attractive than you. But that'll happen anytime I date someone, so good thing I'm single. I can't think of any. After a while, you get used to the extra attention. There are a really odd number of perks. You get mistaken for celebrities and get into clubs and restaurants when they are crowded. One time, we were ushered into a private party for a pro football team at a nightclub. The football players thought it was funny that there were crashers at their party and we ended up staying. People judge you for being shallow and think they know why you're with her, even if she's actually an interesting smart weirdo with a tough childhood backstory that gives her heart and soul. Recently my girlfriend got trapped in a house fire. She then later burnt to death. The disadvantage of having a smoking hot girlfriend is that she is now a pile of ashes. The obvious answer is that she's a prime target for constantly getting pursued or hit on. When I was younger I let this affect me too much and was insecure about it. Always being worried that she can leave anytime or cheat on you is a false trap. What I've learned since then and can confidently say now She's with you, isn't she? Insecurity is a turn off and drives people away. Feeling secure and confident makes the other person not subconsciously give into outward attention. Everyone likes attention, no matter who it is. It helps boost self-confidence. It's okay to like the attention. You just obviously don't buy into it. I enjoy hearing about encounters where guys talk about my GF or wanting to talk to her. If you're confident enough, then this boosts your ego because she's with you. At the end of the day, anyone can get cheated on. Honestly, without sounding too brash. Who cares? There's loads of good looking people out there. You should be with this person because of more than just their looks, obviously, and have legitimate trust with one another. If not, then what's the point? That smoking hot is preference. There is obviously a universal agreement or a majority agreement based on sociological and psychological studies that suggest what is considered attractive for the time and seen as attractive. Currently, my girlfriend is what I would consider to be smoking hot, like well above my league, and she is confident. I want her to feel confident, and I'm not the jealous type. Men are going to find her as hot as I do. The important thing is to realize she is someone I enjoy and to stay confident in her and the idea she won't leave me for someone else. It's trust in car, and I appreciate her to the fullest. So I don't mind her posting pictures of herself looking good. She knows she is attractive, but what makes her more attractive is she doesn't use it to be arrogant and poop on others. She just knows she is pretty and then still wants me to pay attention to her and make her feel even more attractive, and of course I will do my best. I don't consider myself to be attractive, so I feel really lucky to have met her. She makes me feel good about myself. My poor fiancé is constantly accosted. She can't even run a mile outside without someone honking a horn at her. Also, after 12 years of being together, we are trying to get married, but Rona put a stop to that for now. I've begun to value her inner beauty far more than her outward beauty. This, in and of itself, is amazing. But it leads to a strange situation. I'm one of the only men in her life that isn't constantly tripping over myself to impress her. I treat her far more like a partner than like a queen, but the attention that other men shower on her makes me feel like I'm undervaluing her. Sometimes, I think she feels that way too, but it might all be in my head. Overall, I don't think there is an inherent disadvantage in being with a very attractive partner if you try to choose a partner solely on their physical attractiveness. However, you're going to find some disadvantages. If you're a particularly social couple, you'll find yourself having to deal with a lot of guys or girls once or twice that just don't care they are in a relationship and spend every moment they can meddling and trying to cut your grass. In any relationship, getting something of value means you also have something of value to offer in exchange. Although some are born with more affinities toward being hot, no one is born smoking hot. It takes efforts to get there and stay there. Note, I'm not smoking hot, just average. I was with one at some point, let's say just hot, not a model for elite, and it took that to understand what being hot means. After some years it became apparent that we had a very different take on how to live our lives. So we broke up. It was fun seeing everyone eyeing her and feeling their jealousy though. Mostly your own ability to handle jealousy and insecurity. Hot women get it on. Sometimes subtly, sometimes openly. You gotta be able to trust her. If you can't, remember that everyone's replaceable, including hot girlfriends. The other thing is that hot only gets you in the door. If she doesn't have the right personality that meshes with yours, it gets boring fast. Another thing that's more of a misconception is that people have this idea that sex is better with hot women. Often as not, it makes no difference. However, a girl with an athletic body, dancer, gymnast, etc. is usually better in bed. They expect the world from you, and since research has shown the falling in love phase mimics a hypomanic state, you will never be as energetic / fun / creative / hardworking as the guy she grew accustomed to in the beginning. From experience, if she is a genuinely nice person, watching her get uncomfortable with the unwanted attention and suggestions. If she is genuinely not a nice person, how much she manipulates based on the very much wanted attention. I dated a beautiful girl for a long time. She was a long way out of my league and I suspect we were both too young to realize she might not have known how beautiful she was. And I perhaps thought I was more handsome than I really was. Anyway, she was nice. I don't know if she was cheating or was hit on all the time. It never occurred to me. She was a nice person and it never occurred to me. At the end of the day, if someone is going to cheat on you, it doesn't matter whether they are beautiful or clean, they will find opportunities. She's always surrounded by other people, and since I don't like being around people I don't know, I have to steer clear of that kind of stuff. My ex used to get so angry with everyone telling him how lucky he was to be with me. BC I was out of his league. Drove him crazy. Exclamation mark. I didn't mind it. D. But it drove him nuts. D. On the other hand, I dated a gorgeous guy once way out of my league and the downsides were a insecurity on my part. B. He spent all his time at the gym. Boo. Getting blown off. BC they want to lift weights is stupid. I will also say the same about guys hitting on you so if they're hot. That's obvious. What is stupefying is that they'll do it right in front of you or have it so thinly veiled you'll wonder how stupid they think you both are. My favorites are the ones who will ask for their phone number right in front of you with some lame pretext. Oh, you have a car? My cousin knows a mechanic/insurance agent. Give me your number and I'll hook you up. Or they use any politeness on your part to worm their way in further. If I were to do that again I would just say F off when they walk up with some bogus excuse to start a conversation. Punch in the face if they were there 10 seconds later. If you want to be happy for the rest of your life, never make a pretty woman your wife. So from my personal point of view, get an ugly girl to marry you. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.